and product sales and stuff like that. I'm more on the investment side of like Kaya's a medical marijuana. We're trying to develop medicines for host disease and after surgeries and stuff like that. So we're more in the medical research side, and a couple of the companies I'm invested in, and so I don't really get into that other end of it where you have directly dealing with business owners of the cannabis stores and stuff like that.
It's hard, I mean, that's one thing about what we've got going on is really trying to change the mentality, because brother, you served. I mean, for our brothers and sisters to come out and say, "Oh, I want to go in the cannabis industry," first and foremost, everybody laughs at them. That's active duty. Oh, you just want to get high and stoned. They don't actually see a viable business opportunity. Right?
Right.
So we've got to start training them and start educating them at the local level, and that's what you and I and our veteran community needs to do in the cannabis industry specifically. And when we're talking about it, mostly on the hemp side now, but tell us a little bit about the CBD path and how you came to the CBD path.
Yeah, so like I mentioned, I started a business with low voltage and then built that very well, and then I started investing in other businesses as far as fitness and supplements and stuff like that. And that moved me into where I was able to invest a lot of my time into non-veteran programs. So I'm thoroughly involved throughout the year raising money for nonprofit veteran organizations. I'm on the board of the Navy SEAL Museum. So year-round, I'm doing fundraisers. And I started running into a lot of veterans throughout the years that with injuries, PTSD, and then you've got the suicide right now that's increasing daily. I was running into veterans using CBD, and I didn't know much about it. I heard a lot of conversations on guys that were taking it, what it was doing for them, for their sleep disorders, their anxiety. So we started doing our research on my wife, who's thoroughly involved, and she runs the company for the most part. She's the brains, I'm the brawn. Doing our research on CBD, they took it off the federal ban list in 2018. And then a lot of people got involved, a lot of mom and pops, and then some of the bigger companies got involved, and It started becoming a wild, wild west. So we got involved, having conversations with some of my buddies who had amputated legs and just having issues with it. And after her research, she's like, Mike, this is a great product. And from what we've already heard from the veterans that I've been talking to and working with, it seemed like the right business to go into so that we can get this out there and get it in front of veterans. So at the CBD Path, one of our main missions is to get this in front of veterans so they understand it can help them with, to avoid the opioid crisis, PTSD, the suicide. We believe that the CBD is doing wonders. And from the feedback we get from our customers on what it's done for them, for their sleep disorder, their anxiety, it's a no-brainer for us. It's a passion right now to talk about this and to communicate with people on what it's doing and what it's done for other people. It's not, don't take my word. Talk to somebody that's taken CBD. It has different effects. It has different effects for different people. It's not a fix-all. It's not a medical miracle drug, and it's not a fix-all. You still have to be a healthy person. And you still have to live your healthy life. But this is a key component for your toolbox so that you can live better and healthier and knock the edges off of anxiety. Get that extra 3-4 hours of sleep at night. Help with your insomnia or your inflammation. It does wonders for inflammation. So it's training, getting the key elements, key points out. Like our website, our bottles, and I can go on. You can cut me off anytime you want. Our bottles have QR codes on them so that you can track the lab results from every single bottle. You can see we grow all of our stuff in the USA and in Oregon, and all of our bottles have QR codes, and you can see the lab results for every single bottle, so you're getting a quality product. Our website is littered with educational information. We have a blog on there that's very key on how to understand what to take and why to take and when to take. We have a quiz on our website, thecbdpat.com, where if you have an understanding of what your symptoms are, if it's anxiety, if it's sleeplessness, you go to the quiz and it'll ask you questions that'll narrow down the product you should be looking at that'll help benefit your situation or why you're looking at CBD. So we've made it very educational and trying to help people when they come to our website to know exactly what to take.
I think that was one of the things that most excited me about when your information came to us and we started doing our research, because we try to vet everybody out that we have on. But the information and the education is key, and then the QR codes. So I literally just did a podcast before this where we actually talked about one of the new pieces of legislation that's in the House, where it's trying to make sure that there's regulations in our industry. I think you and I both want those, because we can get those nefarious actors out of the space when we're doing things the right way, and people get our products, they're happy. When they get a crap product, they're not, but then we lose potential customers. So let's make sure everybody has regulations and guidelines. So we love the fact that you did that. Now, tell us once again, what's your website?
Our website is cbdpath.com. And a little bit more along your lines, it's like people order from Amazon.com, CBD. And Amazon doesn't sell CBD. They sell hemp seed oil, but they don't sell CBD. And a lot of people, the misconception, and this happens a lot with Amazon and other companies, they believe they're buying CBD and they're not. So some rules, some regulations, and education will go a long way for this industry, and getting it in front of people so they understand that it can and will work for them for their whatever they're going through is key. It's phenomenal.
And we tell people all the time, I think the key, like you just said, they're educators. When you look at our logo, one of the things that we pride ourselves on is it's a book, but that's first and foremost because we're educators, right? So you being an educator the same way that we all are, that's what it's going to take for this industry to be normalized and brought to the forefront. Right. We got about 4 minutes left on this podcast, and I'm so excited to have Michael Donnelly on here today from the CBDpath.com as our guest. And I'm Joshua Littrell, and you're joining here on the Veterans for Cannabis podcast. Michael, you're a Miami guy. How does a South Florida guy get into the CBD industry? I mean, are you guys growing there in Florida yet? Because we just got the industrial hemp finally done this year in Florida. Yeah. What's your plans?
So we're nationwide. So we're an e-commerce company right now, and we're nationwide. And it's funny because we've grown. So we started in January 20. We kicked off January 2020. And every month we've been growing and growing really well, very surprisingly doing very well. One of our bigger areas is New York. We get a lot of orders out of New York. And we believe, and what we've heard is there's a lot of anxiety happening in New York, so a lot of people are turning to CBD to assist with their anxiety. So, a lot of our sales come out of New York. We have one of our manufacturers is here in South Florida, so we're able to stay on top of our manufacturer and our distributor down here in South Florida. So it assists us a lot having that close at hand. So, no matter where you are, if you're putting the right product out, it doesn't matter where you are. As long as you put the right message, the right product, like we are at CBD Path, anything's possible.
Couldn't agree more. So, Michael, we got a couple minutes left. If people want to check you out, you guys have a social media side?
Absolutely. It's the CBD Path on IG and the CBD Path on Facebook. Please, if you have any questions at all, you have any comments, our customer department loves answering emails. We take phone calls all the time and emails all the time. We constantly have people asking questions, and it's great. It's great to know that people are recognizing CBD and that people are spreading the word that it works for them. So, the CBDpath.com. Look us up on IG and look us up on Facebook.
Well, we'll absolutely make sure that's going to be listed on our website too. So when we get this podcast up, you'll be able to click on those links and go check out Michael's story and check out Michael's website, the CBDpath.com. It's really about education, information. And Michael, you've got a great program for veterans as well.
Yeah, we're looking at putting together, we're in the process of putting together a 501c3 right now. Because I believe in the CBD product so much, and I believe the benefits that it's given our veterans and regular civilians as well. But we want to start a 501c3 for veterans that can't afford it. So we know this isn't the cheapest product, from going from the fields to being factory to bottle to ship. It's not the cheapest product on the market. We are, as far in the market, we do have a good price, but it's not the cheapest, and we know veterans can't afford it. So we'd like to put together a program where we can get this in front of veterans that really need it, that can't afford it. So we're working on doing that now.
Well, I think it may be serendipitous with us being on this podcast today. We've actually been working on that for a couple of years now. Finally got the C3 status, so we'll talk offline about how we can partner together and make that happen and take care of our brothers and sisters, who may be struggling in life still.
Yep, no question. And
Michael, thanks so much for. Go ahead.
We have first responders now that are having these same issues. So, with everything that's going on now, we support our first responders, we support our police, and the whole 9 yards. So we're, as well as veterans, we're trying to move a lot of this over and get this in front of first responders as well to help them with some of the scenarios they're going through as well.
And with men and women like you leading the charge, we will absolutely make that happen, Michael.
Thank you, Josh.
Michael Donnelly, thank you so much for being our guest here on the Veterans for Cannabis podcast today, brother. It's been an absolute pleasure, and I'm really looking forward to working with you in the future as well.
Likewise, Josh. Thank you very much for having me and doing what you do.
You got it, sir. All right, y'all take care. We're at Veterans for Cannabis, signing off.
Line over there, send the word over there, that the Yanks are coming, the drums coming everywhere, so prepare, say a prayer, send the word to beware, we'll be over, we're coming over, and we won't come back till it's over there, over